If you know anything about investing, you've probably been hearing about a little app called Robinhood taking the investment world by storm over the last year or so. And this is great if you're American, but less great if you're not. Here in Canada, our closest version of Robinhood comes in the form of Wealthsimple Trade. It's an easy-to-use, no-fee trading platform with a slick-looking app made specifically for Canadian investors. My name is Brie, and in this video, I'm reviewing the Wealthsimple Trade app. We're digging into the pros, the cons, and finding out what is the truth. Is this the best trading app for Canadians, or does it fall flat? Now, the first thing you need to do when you sign up on Wealthsimple is to create an investing account. Now, Wealthsimple has 4 separate accounts that you can create, and they are personal, TFSA, RRSP, and crypto. We're not going to get into the crypto side of things here. That's a whole different topic. But the main ones that you'll be investing are personal, TFSA, and RRSP. Personal is just a regular investing account, but the TFSA and RRSP can be used to shelter your investments from taxes. I'm not getting into the difference between the two of those here, but check out this video to learn more about TFSAs. I've got one on RSPs probably coming in the future as well if you're not clear on the difference. But those are the main types of accounts you can open in Wealthsimple Trade. So actually, just before we open up the app, let's look at some of the major selling points of Wealthsimple, why it is so popular, and why it stacks up with apps like Robinhood in the US. So Wealthsimple is one of the easiest ways to start investing in Canada. It's very easy to use, it's very beginner friendly, and it's a great looking app. Now, their biggest selling points are 2 things. First is the commission-free stock trading, which means you don't pay fees whenever you buy and sell like you do with a lot of other online brokers. And the second thing is that there are no account minimums. So that means there's no minimum amount you need in order to fund your account in order to get started. So comparing this with probably their biggest competitor, which is Questrade, which does require you to invest at least $1,000 in order to start trading. So this really makes it really easy to get started, especially if you're starting with investing just small amounts. Say every week you want to put in, $50, $100. This allows you to do that where you don't need that initial investment just to get started. The next thing you'll need to do is to fund your account by depositing some funds. So I can do that by going over to Move Funds and going to Add Funds. Now, this is where you're going to connect your bank account, and then you'll be able to deposit money straight into your investment account. You can add instant funds up to $1,500 to your account by connecting any Canadian banking or checkings account. Now, this does have to be in Canadian dollars. They do not allow you to hold USD or other foreign currencies on their platform. But if you need to deposit more than $1,500, you can do that as well. It's going to take 3 to 5 business days for those funds to show up in your account. But once you've connected your bank account and you've sent over some funds, that amount will show up under the available to trade section within the app. So what can you invest in using Wealthsimple Trade? You can invest in stocks, ETFs, and select cryptocurrencies. So what you can't invest in includes mutual funds, preferred shares, options, securities that trade over the counter, forwards and futures, bonds, rights and warrants, money markets, and stocks and ETFs that do not trade on North American stock exchanges. So let's look at how you buy and sell ETFs. What's the process like on Wealthsimple Trade? So if you go on over to the search tab, you can search all of the securities you can invest in with this app. Now for each stock and ETF, it'll show you what exchange it's listed on and the currency. Now this is important. We'll get into why in just a little bit, but for now, just hold that thought. Now, normally when buying stocks and ETFs, you have to buy in full shares. So if a stock is $30, I have to spend at least $30 to buy into that stock. I can't buy, say, half a stock to invest. But that has changed relatively recently with a new feature called fractional trading. The reason this is such a game changer is because there's a lot of stocks out there that are very expensive. So say I wanted to invest in Amazon, but if I look them up on the stock exchange, one Amazon stock currently is going for about $3,500. So in order for me to gain some exposure to Amazon stock in my portfolio, I'm going to need to drop at least $3,500 to get one stock. But with the addition of fractional trading, that is no longer the case. I can get exposure to these more expensive stocks by buying fractions of a share. So if I pull up Amazon here in Wealthsimple Trade, you can see that it is available for fractional trading because of this little pie chart icon next to the name. Now, say I want to buy $100 worth of Amazon stock. I can go down here to buy, choose the account, and type in how much I want to spend. So $100, it shows me that the estimated quantity that I'll get is 0.0283 shares. So that way I can invest small amounts into these expensive shares to get exposure to what I want in my portfolio without having to unbalance my portfolio, putting in a lot of money on one single stock instead of spreading it out among many. Now, fractional trading is not available for all stocks on the app. So if you want to see if a stock you're interested in does have fractional trading, you can go back into search and it's showing up as featured, but otherwise you can search fractional trading and it will bring up this list of all of the stocks that you can buy fractional shares of. In general, they've been adding the most popular stocks to this option. So you'll see things like Apple, Tesla, Amazon, Google, and various other options, but they seem to be adding to this all the time. So the selection for fractional trading keeps going up. Another thing to keep in mind when trading is the delay in market prices and the delay in when your trade actually goes through. So say I'm gonna buy one share of VGRO, I go to continue and it will let you know all of these things. So when you place a market order, an attempt will be made to fill it at the best available price. The market price is always changing and there's a 15-minute delay between what the market's doing and what's showing up in your app. So this is letting you know that anytime you buy it, it'll show you this. So for that reason, they apply a 5% ceiling on market buy orders. So that means your trade will go through as long as it's within 5% price of what you were given in the app. So if the price goes 5% higher than that, it will not go through. You'll have to go and select to make the trade again if you are okay with the newer price. Another thing to keep in mind is that your trades will only go through when the market is actually open. Now, I've been doing a lot of investing in crypto right now, which goes through whenever, but with your typical investing, your typical stock market exchange, they're only open from generally business hours during the week. So if you go to initiate a trade on the weekend or in the evening, then that trade's not going to go through until the market opens again, whether that's the next morning or Monday morning if you're doing this on the weekend. But just something to keep in mind when you are buying and selling stocks using this app. So that's buying and selling. One thing we need to talk about is what are the fees for trading? As I mentioned before, Wealthsimple does market themselves as a no-fee trading platform. They're a no-fee brokerage. So that means you don't pay commission whenever you buy and sell. But there's a caveat here. So if we look at the fees page for Wealthsimple, you can see that it's 0 fees for a lot of different things. So you don't pay any fees when buying or selling Canadian stocks, but there is a currency conversion fee whenever you're converting Canadian to US dollars. And this happens whenever you buy something on a US stock exchange. I mentioned briefly before to pay attention to the stock exchange and the currency that a stock is listed on Wealthsimple. And that's because you are going to get charged 1.5% currency conversion fees when you are purchasing US stocks through the app. And that applies both when you buy and when you sell. And that's because Wealthsimple does not allow you to hold USD on the app. Everything gets converted to Canadian. So when you buy, say you wanted to buy a share of Apple, and that's listed on the New York Stock Exchange, your Canadian dollars in the app are getting converted over to USD to buy Apple at the current price in USD. Say a year later you want to sell your Apple shares. Again, that is getting converted from USD back to Canadian dollars, and you're getting hit again with a 1.5% currency conversion. So in total, you're basically losing 3% on currency conversion fees if you are trading US stocks, which can be a big deal depending on what your investing strategy is. So what is the verdict? Should you use Wealthsimple? Should you avoid it and use something else? Well, it depends on what your goals are and how you're going to be investing. Let me explain. So first, the pros are that it's a great app, it's easy to use, it's beginner friendly, and it makes things so easy for you, especially if you're just getting started. You can buy US and Canadian stocks and ETFs, and they have a nice referral program where you and your friend both get free stocks if you refer them and get them to sign up and fund their account. The cons, and the biggest one of course, is the currency conversion fee. So since Wealthsimple Trade does not allow you to hold USD or any other currency, you are getting dinged every time you make a transaction, every time you buy or sell something that is not a Canadian stock denominated in Canadian dollars. So for that reason, here's what I think. You should use Wealthsimple Trade if you're just getting started and you want to start investing without having to put down a minimum amount like $1,000 like you have to with Questrade. It's also great if you mostly plan on investing in Canadian stocks and ETFs because In this case, it truly is a no-fee platform. You're not getting hit with any currency conversion fees, and it is the cheapest way to get started investing in the Canadian market. But I think you should avoid Wealthsimple Trade if you plan on investing in a lot of US stocks and ETFs, because those currency conversion fees add up, and there are better options out there for dealing with foreign currencies. So for example, it's better to use Questrade if you are planning on doing a lot of investing in US stocks and ETFs, because they do allow you to hold US dollars in your Questrade account, and you can do something called Norbert's Gambit to help reduce those currency conversion fees even more. I'm not going to get into that, but if you want to learn how to do that, just search for Norbert's Gambit, and there's plenty of tutorials out there on how you can do this to save on some of those currency conversion fees if you are investing a lot in US stocks. And just to be transparent, I just want to share with you guys what I'm doing. I'm currently using Wealthsimple Trade right now, mostly to invest in Canadian ETFs like VGRO, but I have dabbled just a little bit in some US stocks just to experiment a little bit. But I do know that those fees are going to add up, so I am planning on, in the future, when I have more money to invest in different US stocks that I believe in, that I think are going to go up, when I do that, I will likely be opening up an account with Questrade so I can do that, so I can use Norbert's Gambit and just save on those fees so my investments continue to grow instead of having little bits and pieces of it dinged off with these fees. But I haven't done this yet because I'm mostly investing into crypto right now, so it hasn't been a priority to put down that $1,000 to open up a Questrade account to get started. So for me right now, it's crypto and it's Wealthsimple Trade for my regular investments. But if you haven't got started with Wealthsimple Trade yet and you would like to give them a try, use the link in the description below and you'll get the cash value of 2 free stocks valued at up to $4,500 when you sign up and fund your trading account. But that is it for this video, guys. So I just want to thank you so much for your support. I truly, truly appreciate it. So if you could give me that thumbs up, hit subscribe, and share it with a friend who could also benefit, who's looking to learn more about finance, investing, and crypto. This is the channel for them. This is the channel for you. And I got a ton more coming down the pipeline. But if you're ready to learn more about crypto and investing, check out one of these videos next, and I will see you guys next time.